Hi, we're here today to talk about horse packing. And of course, horse packing is something that we can do either as a hobby or we can do it as a job. We know many people love to horse pack into the mountains, love to horse pack for hunting, fishing, photography. And one of the first things you want to make sure is whatever horse you're choosing as a pack horse, you want to make sure that that personality of that horse is going to be a pack horse for you. You don't want to choose a horse that's a high personality or high spirited. Those horses normally don't pack very well. So one of the first things we're going to start with is a pack saddle pad. You'll notice the pack saddle pad is much bigger than a normal horse pad. So when you go ahead and put your blanket on, you want to do a couple things. You want to look, first of all, at where this blanket is lining up. And I usually like to line it up right with the leg of the horse a little bit. And I also look back here where the hip is. And I want this blanket to come in front of the hip, because I know if it's in front of the hip, it's going to cover the withers, and it's going to cover the wither muscle. We're going to go ahead and use a traditional sawbuck saddle. And we've got a double cinch on this saddle that spreads the pressure out from holding the saddle on the belly of the horse. So then you're going to come out over here and go ahead and take your latigo, which is the strap that's connected to this saddle. So we're going to make a saddle knot, or what we sometimes call a cowboy buckaroo knot or cowboy knot. So now that we've got this saddle knot down, we want to go ahead and check our breeching a minute. I like to usually put my hand behind that breeching because if not, as the horse walks, if this is too tight, you're going to get a lot of rubbing. And eventually, it's going to rub this raw. So I want at least a hand's width, about 4 or 5 inches, depending on the size of your hand. With that. So now we want to go ahead and attach the breast collar. You want a hand's width in the front of this collar. If you need to, you can pull it forward a little bit, which I do. Gives you a little bit of extra. You want to make sure you can also pull it back. If you need to pull this back a little bit, remember, I haven't tightened this totally on this horse yet. And that's another reason I want to make some final adjustments before so I may want to pull my blanket up a little bit. I want to make sure that everything is evenly distributed, that everything is pretty straight. The reason I like Colorado Saddlery products are, first of all, their products are quality products. You know, there's a lot of average products on the market today, tack-wise. There's a lot of companies that make okay tack. And tack is just that, it's okay. But it doesn't last. It kind of falls apart. And what I like about Colorado Saddlery is there's always a quality product. You can always count on it being well-made. You can always count on it lasting, and you can always count on it doing the job that you want. Now, a great example is just this pack pad. I don't think there's a better pack pad anywhere that you could find. They also sell the sawbuck saddles with the collars and the breeching and all the accessories that anybody would need. Their products are up to date. All of their leather is really excellent leather. It's all quality #1 leather. It's oiled and tanned, so it's going to last a long time. It's not going to crack or break. All of the hardware that they use is good quality hardware, and you know that's what you look for in tack. You got to remember that this is, you know, you've got a 1,000-pound animal or more here that you're working with, and to use flimsy products or cheap products makes no sense. I've always said that, you know, sometimes you'll see somebody that's got a very expensive truck, but all their tack and saddle is as cheap as it can be. And that doesn't really help the horse out at all. You've always got to have the horse's welfare first. When you do that, you know that you and the horse will be okay. And I think Colorado Saddlery always has the welfare of the horse first. So that's why I like these products. So we're going to go ahead and put some panniers on here. Panniers are what you're going to put all the things you're going to pack in. That's what carries everything. And we're going to show you some different panniers. We're going to start off with what we call hard-sided panniers. You want to, but when you set your pannier on here, you want to make sure it's level. You know, you don't want this pannier to be like that, or you want to make sure that it's level. You also want to make sure that it's up against the horse. You'll notice these are kind of curved, so they fit a little bit of the horse's body. Well, one thing I'd like to really stress is when you pack your panniers, make sure that when you pack, everything is evenly distributed on both sides. Now, what we can do with this pannier is we can also put a top pack on this. But you kind of want this, at least I always would like to have this for some softer materials up here. And then your heavier pans and cans of pork and beans or whatever you're bringing along with you, go in here. So we had the hard panniers on here, and really using hard panniers or soft panniers, it really comes down to a personal preference. Colorado Saddlery carries both, so it depends on what works for you. What I want to show you now is what we call a Utah pannier. And we really like these because they are really deep and really work out very well for packing deer. So there's a strap that comes across here that you anchor this down with. These panniers are excellent to pack out game. You could use them for standard packing. They are really deep. I do know that sometimes people, if they use them for standard packing, they sometimes tend to overpack them because they're so big. But they really are designed for game and to carry game. So now we're going to go ahead and show you the soft panniers, which are my personal favorite. Again, you want to make sure that when you pack these, your weight is going to be evenly distributed on both sides. What I like about the soft panniers is that if we open them up a minute, you can see how this pulls out. Now, and I can push it down inside so I can get a nice flat surface, you can stack and pack things very nicely in here. Okay, so now you are very interested and you want to start packing. What's one of the first things you want to do? Well, I think the first thing you want to look at is maybe some of the equipment you're going to need. And in order to do that, you would want to talk to Matt, who's from Colorado Saddlery. And so Matt, maybe one thing we'd like to go ahead and ask you is, will this kind of saddle, will this fit every horse?
You know, this is going to fit a lot of horses. We do have a few different size pack saddles. The leather strap goods that are on this are going to have a few different lengths. There's lots of adjustability in all of our straps. So this will fit most horses. We do have a small size for burros and for small horses. And then we actually have a full-size pack for really big, like mammoth jack mules and big drafty horses.
Why would somebody want to have a pack horse?
That's a great question. You know, a lot of people have saddle horses and they're interested in expanding the usability to include incorporating their saddle horses into their backcountry or camping trips and getting into the backcountry. One of the nice things we find, a lot of our clients who are backpackers and enthusiasts about getting into the backcountry, by taking a pack horse with them, they can carry an extra 150 pounds worth of things that they otherwise couldn't carry on their back, some amenities that make camping a little bit more comfortable. And so that's probably our biggest buyer of pack equipment. Virtually anybody can get into this activity if they have a horse. We actually have people that buy and own pack equipment that just rent horses and use those horses to get into the backcountry and carry their heavier items into camp.
So if you ride your horse and your horse is trained pretty well, your horse is a safe riding horse, there is no reason why that horse couldn't learn to pack. So I would say any horse that rides well, that responds to you, that you have a friendship with, you've got a good relationship with, that horse could easily learn to pack. Okay, so now we want to demonstrate for you another soft panniard, but this particular panniard is a little different. One particular style of panniard you can use is one designed to fit over a riding saddle. The nice thing about this is you can actually tie it to the back of your saddle. You can ride in, pack in, and if you're going to pack something out, game, you can put that on this saddle and then use this horse as a pack saddle. But this is a very easy way to pack, and Colorado Saddlery carries a really good line of this particular pack. You'll notice how it's reinforced with leather squares. Normally, you know, on places where you pull, where there's tension, that's where things tend to tear. And you notice this is all reinforced here. Everything is double stitched and double lined. The canvas is a nice heavy canvas. And this works very well for your packing needs, and it's very simple and easy. Matt, why is this a really nice way to pack with your horse?
You know, this is simple, inexpensive. It gives you an opportunity to use virtually any saddle horse for a pack horse. I think one of the biggest advantages of this is the fact that you can roll it up and put it on the back of your saddle and carry all of your camp into camp and still have a horse to ride when you get there. Probably better not put quite as much weight in this as a standard pack, but it's a great tool, and everybody probably ought to have one. They're just handy to have. You can order them on our website. You can call our 1-800 number, coloradosaddlery.com. Everything that's been displayed here is on our website, available, and or certainly call the 1-800 number. We have a number of people there that are all very knowledgeable about pack equipment.